Good morning and welcome back to Coffee Break. So we've been seeing some pretty cool author spotlight videos floating around BookTube, and we thought that was a brilliant idea. So thanks to all of you for...
We're stealing your idea blatantly. Thanks.
So we thought that we would start out featuring one of our favorite children's authors, Eileen Spinelli.
Yeah, Eileen is one of our most prolific authors. She actually has, I think, over 100 books to her name.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It's hard to get an exact number because they're not all in print anymore.
Right, because she's been writing for over 30 years. But still, like, over 100 books in 30 years. That's like 3 books a year.
Eileen Spinelli wanted to be a writer ever since she was 6, which I think, a lot of people who are writers started really young.
That's true.
But I think it's really cute that her father gave her his old typewriter and then, set it up on, a sort of desk made out of orange crates.
Yeah, and she, I remember reading that the letter Z stuck.
Yeah.
And so she couldn't write anything with the letter Z in it. She had to, work around that.
Yeah.
It's pretty good for a 6-year-old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then in high school, she won a poetry award and got $50. And with that $50, she bought a new typewriter and a pair of red heels. So, love her already, right?
I was going to say, that's awesome. That's great.
You may recognize the last name Spinelli because you've heard of Jerry Spinelli. Well, guess what? They're married.
That's great.
Adorable.
I know. And what's really cute is that, when you ask her who her favorite author is, she says Jerry.
And he says Eileen.
I know. They're just really precious.
Yeah.
I don't know them personally at all, but they seem really precious.
Yeah. But that means that they also have, a really great first reader, right?
Yeah.
They always show each other their books.
Any kind of interaction I have with Eileen, she's always, super bubbly and friendly and, really prompt with things. She just has it all together. And she always sends us, cute cards and, poems and stuff for all the major holidays.
Yeah, she sends short but personal notes.
Yeah.
Sometimes they include a tea bag.
Yeah, I didn't get chocolate from my parents on Valentine's Day, but I got chocolate from Eileen Spinelli. That's just the kind of person she is.
Eileen, you're fantastic.
Yes. I think one of my favorite things about Eileen's writing is that she has a real knack for tone. She's just great at kind of evoking these emotions in her readers. A lot of her picture books make really good bedtime reads because they're really warm and soothing and tranquil. But then she also does a really good job of doing the really wacky, funny books, but that still have a lot of heart. And that's a really difficult combination to pull off successfully.
Yeah. And I think she writes a lot in verse, and she is a master at using simple language, but beautifully.
Yeah, and it's great because, she's not hitting you over the head with the verse.
Right.
A lot of times it'll be, slant rhyme, or it won't be in perfect end rhyme or something like that. Sometimes I'll read a book and I won't even realize it's written in verse.
Yeah.
Exactly, until, halfway through, and then I'm like, this is rhyming couplets. How did I not see this?
We're obviously not going to go over all 100-ish of her books.
That would be super impressive if we did. Maybe we'll do installments.
Yeah. But we thought, to do good research and give you guys an idea of some of our favorite titles, maybe where to start with reading Eileen Spinelli. We both took a trip to the library.
And just out of, our 2 libraries and
We
the books
picked
we
up
published. Oh my god, okay.
Every single Eileen Spinelli book that we could.
My arms are... Yeah, I was going to say, my arms are, faltering under the weight of this. And this is maybe a 5th, not even a 5th of the books she's done.
So as you can see, she does a lot of picture books, but she has done a few novels as well.
Yeah.
So in a general sense of her books, she has a few that go together. For instance, she has this series about Miss Fox's class. So there's just a couple of them that we picked up from the library.
Yeah.
So they're just fun books about situations that Miss Fox helps her classroom learn about and get through.
But it's nice, everyone likes those series books because if you latch on to one book that you really like, you're probably going to like the rest of them in that series. So, those are nice.
So she has some seasonal books. So there's a couple from us are Now It Is Winter and Now It Is Summer.
You don't need me to hold anything.
Then she also has another one, I Know It's Autumn. I think that's in your pile.
This one. Go, go, go. Okay.
She also has one, I Know It's Autumn. And so it's just kind of about the seasons, and kind of the overall message is also like being content where you are in the year.
Yeah, like enjoying all the different things that the seasons have to offer.
Yeah.
So, yeah, those are fun.
Another sort of set of books are Do You Have a Cat and Do You Have a Dog? And then she also has one by a different publisher, Do You Have a Hat, which was not at the library.
Yeah.
But these are all fun ways of looking at historical figures. So it's sort of like, do you have a cat? Well, so did
Cleopatra.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have a dog? So did
Admiral Byrd.
Speaking of Admiral Byrd, I did not know this was going to be our transition, but this worked out perfectly.
You're welcome.
She also wrote a book called Something to Tell the Grand Cows.
Yeah.
Which makes me so happy, but also a little bit sad because it is now out of print.
Yeah.
But you can still get it from your library like we did. So, and this is a fun historical story about when Admiral Byrd went to Antarctica.
And he really did bring cows.
Yeah. So this is one of the, theoretically about one of the cows that got to go, and it's just really fun.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the sets that go together. Outside of that,
We each have our own personal favorites.
yeah, so what's one of your favorites?
Okay, well, I really like this book, which we published, When No One Is Watching. And it's about, this girl who's, like, really brave and plucky when she's by herself, she's, like, romping around and having fun. And then when other people are around, she just gets really shy and quiet. But, it's not, like, discouraging to introverts, and it has a really good message of friendship, so I really like those aspects of it. And I actually read an interview where Eileen Spinelli said that she was a lot like the narrator in this book. What about you? What's one of your favorites?
I just discovered when I picked this up from the library for this very video, In Our Backyard Garden.
Yeah.
This is a poetry collection, but it's also sort of a narrative, because it does go through the year with a family and then everything that might happen in their backyard garden. And it's really fun because it's just like, it just really warmed my heart and made me nostalgic for spending time with my family. And I think it's just a big theme in Eileen's books is like being with family and what family dynamics are like. Another favorite of mine is Jonah's Whale.
Yeah.
This is just a beautiful rendition of, as you may have guessed, the story of Jonah and the whale.
Never would have guessed that. Never would have pieced that together.
But it is from the whale's perspective instead of Jonah's perspective. Her narrative, like from the whale's perspective, still has like the heart of the story and still has the listening to God and I don't know what God's doing, but I'm gonna obey, which is just kind of it's a cool thing that I never would have thought of from the whale's perspective.
It's cute to be the whale, be like, what is my purpose?
Yeah.
Another one of my favorites is called 3 Pebbles and a Song. And this is fun because it's written by Eileen and then illustrated by one of our illustrators, S.D. Schindler.
Oh,
Yeah, he did Brother Hugo and the Bear, so that's kind of cool. And then it's dedicated to Jem Bryant, who wrote The Right Word and A River of Words and all those. Yeah.
It's like all of our authors are having a party.
Exactly. I like to picture them all in this like big, awesome clubhouse, just like hanging out and having fun and like trading amazing ideas. But anyway, and I love the story of this one because you've got this mouse who's, his family's running around gathering food for winter and they keep yelling at him to do the same thing. But he's like getting distracted because he's like, oh, listen to the wind go through the corn stalks and oh, look at these beautiful pebbles I can collect.
Yeah. And you're thinking like he's gonna get in trouble.
But no, it's really fun because his family gathers enough food for all of them, but then they're completely bored because they're shut in. And so he uses the things that he brought to like, entertain them and have a good time. So I like that it shows that fun is every bit as important as work.
And that everyone has their own skill.
Yeah, exactly. I just thought that was like a really cool way of going about that. So, yeah.
Finally, I just thought to touch on her novels. I would talk about Summer House Time.
Well, this is a novel in verse. I mean, it's
it's novel in verse. It's very Eileen, but it's longer than a picture book, so
That's true.
different genre a bit. And this is another one that I feel like really captures family time. So it's this family's tradition to all rent a cottage on the seaside for the whole month of August. And so it's all from Sophie's perspective.
It just captures that preteen voice like so perfectly, you know, like that earnestness and like trying to be more mature and everything, but still being a kid at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So hopefully this provides some insight into Eileen Spinelli. If you haven't read her books yet, we highly recommend that you do so. It doesn't have to be one of our favorites, but hey, if we turned you on to a good read, you know, good for us.
We've got like 100 to choose from, so.
Yeah, exactly. Don't limit yourself to our picks, you know.
If you have heard of Eileen Spinelli, perhaps you're a fan already, we'd love to hear what your favorite book of hers is.
Yeah, leave us a comment. Or if you've got questions, you know, feel free to ask us those as well.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us for our Author Spotlight.
We'll see you next week.